Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Duane Towes visits with Dr. Justin Smith, the Animal Health Commissioner of Kansas. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Next, Duane Towes and Dr. Jim Nelssen with K-State are talking swine production. Then learn about the challenges and opportunities with price discovery in cattle. And we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle and Duane. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Duane Towes visits with Dr. Justin Smith about the importance of identifying animals coming in and going out of the state.
Duane Towes joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas. An opportunity to catch up with Dr. Justin Smith, Animal Health Commissioner. And Dr. Smith, we think about your department and working in Kansas in terms of animal health. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that most people really don't realize that has a lot of credence to why we need to do a better job of identifying animals.
That is correct, Duane. Honestly, the movement of animals that we have, we know that Kansas is primarily an in-shipment state, so we have a tremendous amount of animals that come into our state on a daily basis. And so what that means to me is that we've got a greater risk. And so with that idea, we need to understand where our animals are at, where they're going, and where they might be in the case that we do have an animal disease.
We think about some of those things that do come up, some endemic, some we import from outside of the state at times, and being able to track those animals is extremely important. I don't think most people understand what a trace out actually costs. If they knew how many dollars and cents and man hours it took to do a trace out on something, they might be more inclined to be helpful in terms of some premise IDs and animal ID.
That is correct. We, just a case in point, is we had a TB trace, a TB incident that was happening up in a state north of us, and it's caused a tremendous amount of traces for us here in the state of Kansas. Fortunately, a lot of those did have IDs, and we were able to trace those folks out. But if we had enough, there was numerous heads that was going to have to be followed through and tested upon. And so that premise ID capability and that traceability is vital to us being able to respond in a timely and an efficient manner.
And you referenced timely and efficient, depending on the severity and the virulent nature of a disease. Timeliness is extremely important.
Very much so, and I referenced the TB case. That's a slow disease. We get into some of our more prevalent diseases, the PEDVs in our swine industry, the foot and mouth disease that we may income someday in our livestock industry. We're behind the boat by already from the beginning. So.
There's a lot of people and folks within the industry that are looking at different options and how we do that. It always typically comes back from a producer's side of, can we do it at the speed of commerce?
Very much so, and that is the buzzword now. We have to do it at speed of commerce, and we know we have. And do we have that answer yet? No, I don't think we do. I think we're working there. We're light years ahead of where we were before, but we've got some work to do yet. And we know that is, and we're cognizant of that. We're cognizant of the fact that we have to be able to do it at the way that our industry is operating today.
And in reality, it kind of needs to be a national effort. We can't really operate with a bunch of hodgepodge state rules.
That is very true, and that's been evident in some of our other regulations, whether it be specific disease regulations like trichomoniasis or whether it's traceability in that respect. We have to have a common front, but at the same time, we can't put ourselves out there on an island and not have other states come along with us.
Speaking of being on an island, oftentimes these things happen in very rural areas across the state of Kansas, and our ability to have a good relationship with the local veterinarian is probably key in addressing most of these issues right there at the ground floor.
That is very true, and we don't make a big enough deal about that because it is obviously our local veterinarians that we rely on a daily basis to do this and to have the ability to support us in what we have to do. And so, and that's becoming another problem that we haven't even dealt in, and that is the ability to have the veterinary support we need in our rural communities.
That'll do it this time around on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at KFRM.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Paul Spooner, Senior Manager of Media and Communications with the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, joins us. And Paul, the Kansas Soybean Commission has partnered with USFRA to launch a teacher awareness program.
Yeah, it was really exciting for us to partner with Kansas Soybean Commission to launch a teacher awareness program. Really, it was an opportunity for teachers and students to learn more about modern technologies used to grow and raise food. So through this awareness program, we reached out to 30 different schools, both urban and suburban school districts in the state with a toolkit, and it provided 360-degree viewers where the kids could go on the farm, and it had companion activities where they could look at different aspects of animal care and sustainable food production.
Now, one of the things the program is really encouraging is you would like farmers to be present during some of those lessons.
Absolutely. It's so important for farmers and ranchers to be a part of the dialogue in talking to students, especially when they're able to share their own personal story about some of the tools and technologies that they're using on their farms. It's incorporating farmers in the classroom, and we also had a presence at the CATS camp, which is the Kansas Association of Teachers of Science, and talked to about 150 teachers there about the curriculum and today's farming practices.
Are there more things that are involved with that or that kids will get an opportunity to do?
What we've heard in the feedback from the teachers is that many of them have never used the 360 viewers. So really it's an opportunity for us to bring the farm directly to the students through this interactive experience. But also we've incorporated Discovering Farmland, which is USFRA's national curriculum. And through that there's different interactive lesson plans where they can go into a virtual grocery store and click on different grocery store shelves and find the differences between organic and grass-fed and non-GMO, those types of things. So there's really a lot of tools at their fingertips with this teacher awareness program.
You've had a lot of success, too, with the Smart Farm virtual field trips, too.
We actually hosted that at John Deere, and really it was an opportunity to talk about all the tools and technologies farmers are using to be more sustainable, to enhance animal welfare. And that virtual field trip is actually on the Discovering Farmland website. Overall, the Discovering Farmland, we've reached more than 1 million students and have had 20,000 curriculum downloads, which is very exciting for agriculture. The Discovering Farmland website is discoveringfarmland.com. That is for science and social studies teachers, grades 9 through 12, and free to access.
That is Paul Spooner with the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, who joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Duane Towes and Tom Toll with Toll Farms in Lindsborg.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation?
if end users started asking for it by name. That future is here, the time is now. To meet customer demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Duane and Dr. Jim Nelssen discuss swine production across the state.
Duane Toews joining you once again on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to catch up with Dr. Jim Nelssen at Kansas State University in the swine department. Jim, we think about swine production in Kansas, a vibrant industry that continues to grow in areas, others maybe not so much, but there's a lot of good things that are going on.
There is a lot of good things. We are pretty much Harvard in the Midwest here in terms of the Corn Belt, and we can set on the outside, as you mentioned, in some very biosecure areas in the western part of our state. Our industry continues to grow and prosper, and a lot of that's due to the technology and profitability that's returned to our industries the last couple years.
It is an industry that has changed in the dynamics of it over time, and we still see some changes. Obviously, there's room for individuality in each operation. Guys just got to figure out what makes it work on their place.
Yes, in the meetings this morning here at the Ag Summit, we talked to everything from niche marketing, which gives all producers a chance to market their pork, all the way up to some of the new packing plants that are being built throughout the nation and close to Kansas here, and the opportunities to grow our industry, as you mentioned, Duane. Lots of opportunities to increase swine production in the Midwest and specifically in Kansas.
We think about why some of those things, apparent riddle supply of feed grains, a big part of that.
Yeah, we see grain sorghum. Of course, we've did a lot of the original research. Grain sorghum coming back in the equation for a lot of production systems where we used to just be corn-based. Now we feed a lot of grain sorghum. In the last couple of years, and unfortunately for some of our wheat farmer friends, we fed a lot of wheat to pigs. So there's always opportunities to use alternative grains as well as our staples that we have here in Kansas to grow our industry.
Talking about the consumer side, consumer acceptance, we've done a tremendous job at working to get that in a package that meets their needs.
Yeah, we've really learned the last few years, and I sat on the executive board of the Kansas Pork Association. They've done a great job explaining to our clientele and to our producers that people want to know where their food is raised, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking beef or wheat, and they want to know how it's raised. And so what we're really doing is getting the producers, those people that raise a wholesome product, and also then one that is extremely safe, on camera, on Facebook, online, and that way people can see who's raising their food, and that's why the demand for pork has grown so rapidly.
The other option as well that kind of dovetails with that, pork product, pretty versatile, I guess is a good way to put it. We see some of the national companies with the prepackaged stuff that's marinated, and it's just it's pretty hard for the average consumer not to get that done right.
You know, it's amazing. I gave talks in the 80s, and I said that, bacon would not be the staple of our industry. But if you look at the most profitable cut in a pig today, it is the belly or where the bacon comes from. And I also teach at the university. And on a lighter note, Duane, I always tell the students when they're taking a quiz, I don't care if it's on wheat or beef or what it's on. If you don't know the answer, just write down bacon, and every professor will give you partial credit because it's such a good product. Now, you talked about the marinated products. They're going like wildfire across the nation. The pork shoulders, a cut that we used to not think would be as high value, is extremely well accepted now in pulled pork. And then we haven't even talked about the tremendous increase in export of pork. We export about 26 to 27% of the pork raised in the U.S., and so we're just on a roll in terms of demand for our product.
Our thanks to Jim Nelssen at Kansas State University and the swine department on campus, joining us with an update on the swine industry here in the Heartland. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for this week's Angus Report.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Hi, I'm Randy.
And I'm Paul from PFI.
We would like to personally invite you to stop by PFI, home of Boot Daddies.
PFI is America's Western store, covering over 50,000 square feet.
Over 25,000 boots.
Visit Saddle City with the largest selection of saddles and tack anywhere.
A huge selection of hats at Big Spur Hat Company in PFI Town.
And choose from the best brands of clothing and accessories for the entire family.
PFI, located on Highway 65 at the Battlefield exit in Springfield. And I'm not kidding.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Angus Report.
Take care of your land. Raise good Angus cattle. 4-6's ranch manager Joe Leathers begins there.
We can love the cattle business and we can love the horse business and we can want to do the very best job we can. But reality is, if we don't take care of our land, the health of it, the water, the grass, the wildlife that goes along with that, then it won't be very long. We're not going to raise any cattle or horses because the land will be ruined. So our first priority in the industry is to take care of the country. We're the original environmental stewards.
Ranches, no matter the size, have a big part to play.
The consumer a lot of times has a misconception that we're big cigar smoking ranchers that own thousands and thousands of cows, and there are a few that are like that. But most of the cattle industry is made up of small businesses, small family businesses run by a mother and a father. A lot of times a grandmother and a granddad are still there, and the kids are growing up there, and the next generation takes it over.
The ones that sustain that culture have a plan, and they stick to it.
And I think that every operation, large and small, needs to have a vision of where they want that operation to be and what they want to accomplish in their lifetime and what they offer to the future generation that takes that ranch over.
Leathers says hardships will come and goals can be adjusted. From there, stay the course.
There's a difference between a vision and a goal. A goal is standards or markers that you set in order to achieve the vision. But the vision for what you have for your operation should never change.
A vision to raise the best cattle on the 4-6s meant replacing Hereford with Angus sires.
Our performance in the yards has greatly improved, and the performance of the calves, the grade of the meat, there's just night and day difference. So the marketability of our cattle is changed dramatically because of Angus cattle.
A plan likely to last generations. I'm Bob Cervera.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously. So I'm tickled to death with the results, and I'd recommend this process to anyone.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, headstalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
Kyle Bauer, your fact or fiction question of the day. The elephant is the only mammal that can't jump. Fact or fiction?
The only one?
The only mammal that can't jump.
Well, I don't doubt it that an elephant can't jump. But
what
is a jump? One? Is that when all the legs are off the ground?
All 4 feet
all
off
4
the ground.
feet. Well, I'm sure an elephant can't
Unless
jump.
you don't have 4 feet.
Okay, then you can. If you're a mammal, like a kangaroo's a mammal, but you said mammal, right?
Mammal.
I'll go true.
That is what it says. The only mammal that can't jump. Is a whale a mammal?
Yeah, I think it is.
I guess they jump out of the water every now
There
and
you
then,
go.
don't they?
What's jumping? Didn't say
Again.
Yeah, so it's not all 4 feet
the
off
only
the ground.
mammal that can't hop on one foot. That wouldn't have been true.
No, elephant can hop on 1 foot.
No, they can't.
Oh,
but there's
okay.
others that don't have any feet at all.
There you go. I won.
So,
put me down as a
we'll
W.
put that in the W column.
Roughly half of America's GDP comes from 22, the largest metro areas. Okay,
22 of the largest metro areas.
Half of all the production, gross domestic product, that measures all the economic activity.
All right.
22 of them in the nation account for half of all the nation's economic activity, and that's okay. But what's interesting is the cities and what countries they match up with.
Oh,
so for instance, Houston.
Right.
Has the same
Big
GDP.
town.
Yeah, but has the same GDP of the entire country of Poland.
Oh my.
Yeah. How about L.A.?
All right.
Has the same GDP of all of Mexico.
No.
Yeah.
All of Mexico.
Oh, all of Mexico.
Well,
L.A. alone.
At least the GDP that's recorded.
Right. Yeah, the non-taxable.
There might be some non-taxable entities in Mexico that.
Minneapolis, the same as Bangladesh.
Okay.
Denver, same as Peru.
Wow.
That's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, because we just consider these cities, and the rest of the world says, "Yeah, you got a seat at the UN. You're a big deal." And it's like, really?
No, we are the deal.
We've got cities that do more than you people do.
Yeah.
So
it's like Denver. Denver wants a seat at the EU.
Yeah, because they're higher up than Peru.
Yeah,
exactly. Dallas, Taiwan.
Really?
Seattle, the entire country of Egypt. Portland, the entire country of Iraq. So let me see. We have Boston, has more economic activity than Nigeria. Now, this one's a tough one, though. New York City, same GDP as the country of Canada.
Wow. That'll leave the Canadians wondering where all the money went.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.